Welcome to the Lush Mind podcast. I'm Laurie.
I'm Keisha.
And we're the Gospel Twins.
So we talk about all things to grow, flourish, and prosper in life.
So come with us. All right, guys, welcome back to the Lush Mind podcast.
Hey.
I'm Laurie.
I'm Keisha.
And we're the Gospel Twins. Now, today we are going to be diving into a lot of interesting topics, specifically about how the dating seasons go in the year.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have heard us talk about cuffing season. You've heard us talk about, breakup seasons, especially as we get into December, going into January. But what is the next season? What typically happens in modern dating when we hit January and February? So that's what we're going to dive into. And I know Keisha's a little excited about it too. Because
I'm definitely excited. Like the way it's broken down, you guys are going to be excited too.
Yeah. So essentially, we left off talking about breakups, right? We talked about when it hits Christmas, when it hits New Year's. These are pivotal moments in a man and a woman's life where, they have to really think, am I going to bring my partner home? Am I going to stay with them during the holidays? Is it a serious relationship to keep it going into the New Year's, right? Typically, most breakups happen at that season. After, when we get into January, going into February, a lot of times, because it's still cold, okay? And because a lot of people have now recently broken up with the people they've been with, what tends to happen is there's a little bit of like a mini cuffing season, but it's like a false cuffing season.
So it's not fully cuffing, it's a cuff season.
Exactly.
Just half.
Exactly. Just like my hair. These are faux locks. It's not real locks. They're false, right? So there are false things out there you always got to be careful for. You know what I mean? So what really happens? Essentially, I find in my experience, in my research, a lot of guys will try in this season from January after Christmas, right? Not even after Christmas, mostly January, before Valentine's Day, that small 6-week window. A lot of guys will try and still reach out and try and connect and get somebody who they can really cuddle up with, who they can spend time with. It's cold outside, a lot of times they're lonely because after Christmas, right? They've broken up with the person they were with for a couple months. Christmas comes, family comes over, and everybody's on vacation and having time off. Work is slow.
Yep, eating their good food.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So they have that little break in dating, and then they realize New Year hits. They're done partying. They're done doing whatever. And they're alone.
Yeah.
They feel lonely. You know what I mean? So what are they going to do? That's where you're going to see increase on dating apps and a lot more people trying to reach out from back in the day.
Yeah.
And trying to say, hey, how you doing? Happy New Year's, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They're going to try and get to you as best as they can to see if you are still open and available.
Yeah. And I've definitely noticed a lot of it too, even being back online. A lot more conversations are happening, a lot more people, a lot more matches where it's where were y'all 2 months ago,
With someone else.
But that's the thing. They definitely were with somebody else. So now it is definitely more heightened. And even for us, it's true. We're at home. It's cold outside. Nobody's really trying to go outside and do anything. So what do? You're online. You're on social media. You're wherever. And you're connecting with people.
Exactly.
So it's true what Laurie's saying.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's definitely a season where you got to be careful. If you're about it, perhaps you are in that season where you're alone. You are, you know what I mean? You are looking for somebody who you want to connect with. It doesn't mean the connection's fake.
Yeah.
You may genuinely still be hoping and praying to find somebody in that season. But just keep in mind too, your emotions are a bit more heightened after the holiday season. You've seen all the love going around with families and Christmas and all that stuff. And, at New Year's, you see people kiss up on 12 o'clock, right? And you just did it with your drink. So realistically, you may feel more alone in that season. And you may want to be you know what, let me try and find something. But just, again, keep in mind, you know what I mean? It's kind of that fall season where you can run into traps where people are going to maybe try and make you feel like they are serious and they want something serious, but they really are just lonely.
So you may find that one genuine person, come January 1st where they're let me actually try and be better this year.
Yeah.
My resolution is let me try and find love. Let me put myself out there.
True.
And you may see that happening too. So when they get into that relationship, it could work out. But to Laurie's point too, as they get into it and then Valentine's Day comes around, they may think you know what, maybe I wasn't 100% ready, but their intention initially was good.
Yeah, there could be a situation where, a man or a woman gets into that kind of full relationship, that early stage, so early days kind of situation. And they might really have hopes for the relationship, but I think when it hits February, like you're saying, like people then really start to think, is this going to be my next boo? Is this going to be somebody who I am going to want to spend Valentine's Day with? Am I going to really want to like take them into the new year with me? And sometimes the breakups will happen before Valentine's Day because the person might say, hey, I don't even want to spend 2 dimes on you.
Yeah, investing time,
I don't
money,
even want to,
energy.
Yeah. Or the opposite thing might happen where they actually do take you on Valentine's Day and they do take you somewhere and they do treat you, nice and razzle dazzle you up. You know what I mean? But then after Valentine's Day, they think, okay, you know what? It was all emotions. It was all like the height of the moment. Sometimes it's a rebound situation. You know what I mean? It is the rebound situation from post-Christmas, post-everything into the new year. Maybe they haven't fully gotten over their ex and they thought, okay, connecting with you in the new year would help them to overcome all that lonely things that are going. So sometimes it could be that too. So after Valentine's Day could also be a situation where you'll find people tend to, break up as well.
Yeah, and it could be that eye opener too, where it's like they may again like entertain you on Valentine's Day and see like, can she really be this person or can he really be that person? So it's almost kind of like a trial thing where it's like this is a big moment to make or break kind of the connection or make or break the relationship in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't even know if I don't know if I agree with it though. You know what I'm saying? Only because for me, and again, like maybe I'm just wilding, but I just feel like realistically in life, after Christmas, after New Year's, like that's a stressful, busy season. You know what I mean? And then you go into the New Year's, like, are people really, 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 really serious about a relationship in that time?
I hear you on everything, like, but a lot of people it's busy, a lot of people it's downtime. The year's kind of circling back.
True.
A lot of companies are slower, especially depending what industry you're in. Like sales may be slower, so some people genuinely have time to do foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not foolishness,
but like do whatever to keep themselves entertained.
It is play. Really and truly, you're right. There is a lot more slower time, so those are the ones who are at work.
So if they have money, they're gonna entertain you on Valentine's Day. If they have this, like, they're gonna do it because again, to your point, like it's a season in between that spring fling vibes, and the Christmas holiday vibes. So you never know which side.
It's true, but I think even talking about the spring fling things, you know what I mean? Like after Valentine's Day, whether it's a situation where they break up or possibly stay together, you know what I'm saying? Possibly. Then you go into the spring fling. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're getting to the March and the Aprils. You know what I'm saying? And early May season.
Yeah.
I find in that time, there's a lot of madness that go on. You know what I'm saying?
March madness.
March madness. It's not just basketball.
It's people.
It's people. That's where they get it from. March madness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of playness. Now, again, we are humans. We all have emotions. But this is just based on the statistics of what we've seen in life and how people tend to act in these seasons during dating. You know what I mean? So madness agwan. In that sense, we were talking about essential dating, a lot more play, a lot more, you know what I'm saying? Like just doing what they want to do, spring fling and March madness.
People are starting to scatter their seeds, put feelers out there and as the
build
weather
up the list.
Exactly starts to get nicer, you're starting to see like who can I connect with, who can I start to, talk to, get those things going because, that summer is around the corner. So that springtime is really like kind of like how the flowers start to flourish, relationships and situationships and all the ships start to come out to sea.
Yeah. They will come out.
Fishermen will come out to fish.
Exactly. Plenty of fish.
So it's real. It's real.
It is so real in that season. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying these seasons are bad. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Don't
there's
get me
always
wrong.
two sides to everything. Like we're just obviously, it's funner to talk about the
madness of
madness.
It. But if you like know what's going on and know how God is moving the seasons, you can genuinely prepare yourself in a way where you could potentially meet someone who is serious. You know what I mean? So as much as we joke about it, it is a time to still be wise when it comes to dating. Be intentional when it comes to dating, because you don't want to miss when the water's stirring. You don't want to miss the time where you could make that connection, that important connection. You know what I mean? So, of course, still put yourself out there from January to December until you get your man or your woman. You know what I mean? Like, don't stop till you get what you need. But yeah, so Spring Fling, March Madness, really a lot of the ships are going out, relationships, friendships, situationships.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, you want to find somebody. Everybody ultimately wants to find somebody.
Exactly.
Whatever the motive is behind that, that's a different story. But that time really is pivotal if you want to start truly building something, because as we get through the rest of the year, which we'll get into, like, you want to plant the seed early so that you can, like, build that solid foundation to, like, grow that relationship.
Just like in spring, in all reality.
Start planting.
When the water melts from winter, you know what I'm saying, all the coldness goes away. That is the time to start to plant and put the seeds in the soil so that they can flourish and grow and become lush. You know what I mean? Like, you want that lush life.
Yeah.
So it is important to still make sure you are scattering your seeds in the sense of connecting with a lot of people. It doesn't have to be a jealous situation or a skettel situation. I know my family, I watch this, so sorry, mom and dad, but there are skettels out there. No, it doesn't have to be that deep. You know what I mean? Like, the reality of it is you want to just be strategic. Data collecting, dating in that season. Gather your information, see who is right for you, who has that potential and has the action behind the potential. You know what I'm saying? Not just showing you what you want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So after that now.
Okay, so after we get into the spring fling, so that we got that into the beginning of March, right? No, beginning of May.
Yeah.
We know now summer at Brookhold.
Summer too hot.
Hey. But yeah, summer's too hot, as Chris Brown says it, and he knows it. You know what I mean? Him one of the biggest ones in the summer I do things. So, with that being said, during the summertime, if you're from Toronto, you know what I want. Summertime is a time where everything's going on.
And everyone is outside.
That is where we finally get some sunlight. So we're all out and about. We're doing so much events, things like that. So yeah, summer too hot, but it's a good time to still, again, put yourself out there, get to know people, connect. Now, remember, everybody's in the gym come January, right? After breakups, everybody's trying to get snatched, ray. We get into spring, bodies are starting to look a little bit better. And as you hit summer, people are looking fire. You know what I mean?
They're at their optimum. They're at their prime. Yeah. Like, it's that halfway through the year mark. Like, everybody's like, okay, let's lock in,
Exactly. So you see the results from the gym, everything will pop off, right? So in the summer, that is your time to shine. That is your time to really go hard and make those connections even more than you did in the spring.
Because we know that during the summer, again, you're outside, you have more time. Some people, it's a little slower season. Again,
Vacation
like that
time.
January slower season. Summertime is a slower season too, depending where you're at. So you have a little more time to do things. The sun's setting later, so you can actually do stuff after work. Like, it really gives you a lot of opportunity, because a lot of events are happening. As we mentioned, a lot of things are going on. And a lot of people are looking, like, to really lock in, because we know cuffing season's around the corner. So summertime, you have to kind of be ready. Exactly. You don't want to miss that one. That out of all the seasons, you don't want to miss summertime.
Yeah. Summertime, yes. I mean, there is going to still be playness that's going during the summer, let's be honest, because what we said, everyone's looking fire, and a lot of people are going to want to talk to a lot of people. So yes, there's going to be some playness, a lot of playness majority in the summer. Like, spring was play, but summer is going to be a lot more play. So you still really got to be wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, date with intention, really see if the people are serious that you're talking to. But of course, put yourself out there 100%. Yeah, summer's good, yo. Summer's good in that sense. Like, Caravana and all the things that are guani, like, it's a good time to try and connect.
And I think also, too, it's a good time to test the relationships and the seeds that you planted in the spring. So if you have a few people that really start to build up a connection from the springtime and now you're in summer, like, you can really see how this person starts to maneuver. You know what I mean? Like, are they out on the road every day? Like, or are they making time to chill with you? When you're outside, are their eyes wandering everywhere? Or are they actually, like, taking you in and, like, making you feel nice? So you kind of get to see them in a different light.
The ones you've been dating for the last couple months.
To see, like, are they getting more serious or are they getting more play? So I think that could also be a testing time, even for yourself. Like, are you getting tempted to look around? Are you getting tempted to move on? Like, it shows you within your heart, like, if you're serious too, because you don't want to be starting something with someone and not be fully ready. So summertime also can be like a testing time.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a really, really good point. Like, in each season, you really need to test the people's fruits. Like you have to test the person's actions and see how they're going in each segment. You know what I mean? And that will also let you know how things are going to progress or maybe not progress as it now goes right back into cuffing season. So typically summer is going to go until August, a little bit of September's dead end,
That
you
cool
know,
off, everybody
little
back
cool
to
off.
work, back to school, back to wherever.
Kid them gone back to school. Everybody have a little bit more free time again, right? Once the kids are back and whatever. A lot of slowing down. Like the city is not popping as much during that September season. And then we hit cuffing season. You know what I mean? So we bring it right back around that September, that October, November. You know what I
Heading into the
mean? Right
holiday.
into like the beginning of December is that, but I find if I'm being real, September, October is like the height of cuffing season where you really do see now either people are locking in or they're not locking in, So I find that is the time to really kind of see and put yourself out there even more than before. Of course, you already were doing it from beginning of the year throughout the summer. If you need to take a break during the summer, you can, because again, like you don't really have to try and do the most all year round. You're not thirsty. You know what I mean? Like you got to still show that you can manage. But comes September, October, I find that's when the water's stirring. That's when people are actually engaging in proper conversations, calling people, getting to know people. Like they genuinely want to find somebody who they can lock down by that season.
And it's a good point to kind of gauge where you're at with some of the people you've been talking to. Because if you didn't meet somebody in spring, there's a good chance you probably met somebody in summer. Because again, everybody's outside.
Yeah.
So from those summer connections now, like you really start to like see who's willing to lock in and, get to that more serious state. Because maybe you've been dating for a month or two and like now you want to see like come cuffing season, are they just going to drop you or are they now going to step up their game and really, take that relationship or situationship now to another level, so that you can spend that, fall season really now being intentional maybe with your conversations because summertime you're out, it's fun, dates, whatever, but now it's like, okay, as things slow down, like what is our conversation? We can't just always go to a bar. We can't always just go to the beach or we can't always and just have lighthearted, like, light conversations. Like, what are you about, like, getting into the depths of things to
100%.
see, like, is this somebody you want to make it to Christmas to?
That is the time to really cultivate the relationship.
Yeah.
Like we've already planted the seeds from March, you know what I mean? And some of the seeds, they don't start to really uproot out of the soil until months later. So when you start to see like that seed, that plant coming out of the soil when it comes to the relationship, that is the time during cuffing season to water it, to grow it, to actually put more energy, more light, sunlight on it. Like at that point, you're not watering 20 plants. That's not the time. You know what I mean? Everything should have been cut down to a point where you already have a 1-2 max, and you really now are tying into that one plant that you're going to pour into the most,
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like if you're talking to somebody and they're telling you straight up, like they're still talking to other girls or they're still open to dating other people during the cuffing season, then like they're not too serious about you. You know what I mean?
Because again, you don't want to kind of waste that season. It's not like it's not the last point of contact, but it's also kind of like that last.
It is pivotal.
That last little moment before you go back into the winter season, which could be a little bit drier. Like, so you want to really lock in on the connections that you made that you do feel are genuine, and start to weed out some of the ones that aren't, because you don't want to miss the wave. Like, you've been putting in the work since January. You had your summer body ready. You had everything ready. And now it's like, okay, like let's actually now lock in for the end for Q4, and actually like end the year strong kind of thing. So you really have to kind of differentiate and be intentional from both sides, guys and girls,
No, that's a deep point, yo. It's the fourth quarter and it's so important. Everybody knows in basketball, like that is the most important quarter. You could be leggy and you could be behind from the beginning of the year. Maybe you didn't get out as much. Maybe you didn't have a chance to connect as much. But during that fourth quarter, coming into cuffing season, you have a chance, you know what I mean, to win the game and, find someone who you can be with and get married and whatever else you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, like even just reflecting on the year as a whole, like, and making sure that you're ready. Because if you're going to lock in with somebody, like truly try and put in some kind of work to reflect and make sure that you are ready to like lock in. Because cuffing season, you really want to cuff and like be solid. So you don't want to just now be play with it, So I think it's one of those things where taking the year in each season to reflect on yourself and like, at the end of each quarter, kind of like business, you have to review, did the numbers, did we hit our sales goals? Like, did we hit this? Like, making sure like, am I on the right track? Because you don't want to just do it just because that's what's happening around you. Like really being intentional, really seeking God in everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know us, we're always going to bring God into the mix because at the end of the day, like, He's the one who's going to tell you where to plant your seed. He's the one who's going to tell you like which relationship to water. He's going to tell you like that's a bad apple right there. Like He will give you that insight, you know? So really locking in with God so that you can make the most out of each season and have the fruitfulness, have that lush life like we talk about, because that's the ultimate goal, you know?
I mean, I think that's well said, and that's the perfect way to wrap it up. Like, honestly, like we were able to really break down all the different seasons, and I honestly hope that, you know, those who are watching are able to really dive in and use this knowledge, you know, for good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really something that God has given us that revelation on. Like, we want to share it with everyone. Like, this is the times to really make those moves. It is early year. Like, this is the time to, you know, get yourself right. Maybe you did go through a breakup recently, and like, this is the time to like get back in the gym, connect with God, focus on what is the goals for the first quarter. You know what I mean? So that you are well prepared for the second, third, and most importantly, that fourth quarter.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we all want to win the game. We all want to have that lush life. So we encourage you guys to really do the reflection. Now that, you know, we're still early in the year, we still can put together our goals. We can still put together what we want to accomplish and achieve. And like really, you know, hold ourselves to that standard, you know, not giving in, not like letting up, because there genuinely is somebody that is like-minded and on that same page along with you. But you kind of have to be ready and prepared for when that time comes, because we talked a lot about the seasons, but really and truly, like, there's a time and season for everything.
That's what the Bible says.
That's what the Bible says. And it's like, you really don't want to miss that season because you don't know when it's going to come back around type thing.
Exactly.
So really just, again, making the most of it and planning and being intentional.
Yeah, man.
So we hope you guys felt encouraged.
Yes.
We'll keep you posted as we go through our seasons. But yeah, remember, if you want a lush life,
you gotta have a lush mind.
All right. Let's catch you and see if you're awake there. All right. See you guys in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Take care.